Well, this is interesting. So yes, as the title of this video suggests, we've had a brand new trailer for Doctor Who Series 12, specifically the second half of Doctor Who Series 12, or what I'm calling Doctor Who Series 12 Part 2. Yes, I know, it's a very original name, it took me hours to come up with it. This bit of information came from none other than Crispy Pro's Twitter page, where he retweeted a tweet saying, "Damn, please live up to how good this trailer is," in reference to something that he retweeted, which is the BBC America trailer for the second half of Doctor Who Series 12. Now, I'm not sure if this was the trailer that aired after the Nikola Tesla episode. Is it the Night of Nikola Tesla? Or the Night of Terror Nikola Tesla? I don't know, that episode. I'm not sure whether or not this was the Next Time trailer that played after that in America, or whether this was just an additional trailer that was on the BBC America site. I'm not sure, but either way, it came out on the BBC America channel and has since made its way onto the official Doctor Who Twitter page as well. So there's quite a lot in this little video to unpack, so without further ado, let's get started. The trailer or teaser begins with an opening monologue for 13, who says that time is unraveling around her, before we get 3 flashes of the Jadoon, the destroyed Gallifrey from Spyfall, and a new Cyberman. Now, obviously we knew that Cybermen were coming out of Series 12, so this just kind of confirms that, but it's nice to see a little bit more of them, even though it is basically in silhouette. I also like that this trailer thus far, and throughout the trailer, it has a lot more of a dark tone. And that's something we'll go on to discuss. There is one shot of the Cybermen which I liked, which was this one of its back here. And the reason I found that interesting is that it proves that they're not just Nightmare and Silver Cybermen, because you can tell, again, by the headpiece, that their headpieces are quite different, that they're slightly more elongated than, I would say, the Nightmare and Silver variants. Also, the backs seem to have some sort of lights on them, so that's interesting. I know that this is very small and you can't really make out a lot of detail, but I do still find it interesting, because I always like seeing new designs for the enemies of the show. So I always like to take a look at these and just have a look at them. So after that, we have Ryan asking how long this is going to last, presumably talking about their travels with the Doctor, and he asks Yaz if this is their life, just traveling with the Doctor, which obviously we know it won't be, because they'll have to leave eventually with contracts ending and whatever. But the less cynical part of me aside, I really do like, again, as I said, the darker tone that this trailer goes for, and I really hope that that's something that the next half of the series runs with, because I'm not the first person to comment on this, but I'll say it here. There have been moments throughout the episodes of Series 12 where 13 has shown a bit of a darker side to her, and that's something I appreciate, because I'm really not a fan of the upbeat children's entertainer that's trying way too hard. So if they do a sort of reversal of that and it's all just a big act, I'd be totally down. It would be like the biggest plot twist in Doctor Who history, most likely, but it would certainly make me happy, and I think it would make a lot of fans happy. A lot of fans want to see more of this personality, more of her emotions. They want to see her getting angry, they want to see all these different emotions, they want to see her sad, they want to see her crying. We saw a bit of that in Spyfall, but dialing that up to 11 I think is something that a lot of people want. So as I said, I really like the darker tone that this is going for, and I also like that it's starting to question as well the relationship that the companions have with the Doctor as well. How long is it going to be sustainable for them doing this week in, week out? Well, not week in, week out. Week in, week out for us, but you know what I mean. We then get another shot of the Jadoon. I've not got a lot to say about the Jadoon because they're basically the same as they were in the Russell T Davies era and Sarah Jane Adventures and all that. What I will say though is that this next line about Jodie saying that even she can't win sometimes, I really liked that, because as of late, granted there have been exceptions, with I think Spyfall being the main one, the Doctor, it feels like it's way too easy for her to win. Particularly in situations like Saranga Conundrum, where this alien's supposed to be really, really dangerous, and yet they beat it by kicking it like a football. Stuff like that feels way too easy, way too cheap, and I would really like to see this Doctor actually properly lose. That's something I've always valued in Doctor Who stories, is seeing the Doctor brutally just destroyed by the enemy. We got a bit of that in Spyfall with the Master leaving them on a plane, but I want to see more of that. Obviously, you know, there's a lot more that I want to see, and there's a lot less of certain aspects that I want to see, but you know, I'm glad at the very least that this is indicating that she might lose an episode, which I would be happy about, because I don't like seeing the Doctor win all the time. It kind of takes a bit of the urgency out of the story if we just know that, oh, well, everything will be fine because everything's got to go back to the status quo next week. I like when the Doctor actually loses and that we feel the effect of that in the following episode. So I hope that happens. This trailer certainly indicates that it's happening. You can even see the 13th Doctor getting a little bit emotional there, like tears and stuff. So I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing a bit more of a darker side to this Doctor, and I'm hoping that the whole children's entertainer annoying personality that she has, in my opinion, is kind of like an act in a very similar fashion to what Pat Troughton and Sylvester McCoy did. Whether that is the case or not, I don't know. That's just what I'm hoping for, because personally I feel like that might be better suited to Jodie's style, because people have told me that she's good at playing characters who aren't as bright and perky as the 13th Doctor is. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. I'm going to be honest, she's still probably going to remain my least favourite Doctor, just because she's not had that much development to the point where I could say, boom, that's the Doctor. So she still probably will remain my least favourite. However, I'm willing to be open to the opportunity that she might improve and that she might go in a darker direction. Anyway, long tangent aside, we hear a laugh, which I'm going to assume is the Master's laugh, because the Master speaks directly after it, and that also confirms as well that the Master will be back, which is something that I'm happy about, because honestly I think Sacha Dhawan's performance has been the best thing about Series 12 so far, in my opinion. So the idea of seeing more of him is an exciting prospect, to be sure, and one that I wanted, because obviously we knew that he was going to be back at some stage, because they left him in that Noodle Land, as I called it in my Part 1 review. So I'm, looking forward to seeing more of him, because mainly he's the only villain who actually felt like a threat against 13 so far, really. I mean, the dregs visually were cool unless they were outside, and to me, I'm not gonna lie, the scorpions from Nikola Tesla just kind of felt like budget Ragnos. Like, they didn't even mention how similarly they look to the Ragnos. Anyway, I'll save that for my review, but yeah, that was bad, in my opinion. The monsters, whilst they served a better purpose than things like Krasko, they still weren't great, in my opinion. I think Chibnall just struggles with new aliens. I know this one wasn't written by Chibnall, but he would have had to at least get it approved, and read it. So unique villains isn't really one of this series, one of this writers, or this writing team's strong point, I've noticed, because there's not really any villains that I could go, boom, that's a cool unique villain that I want to see come back. Like, Tim Shaw was the only one in Series 11 that I was like, maybe he could come back, and they've already done that once, so I'm not really keen on him coming back again after already coming back once. The Master repeats his line from Spyfall Part 1, however it's a lot more ominous this time. proving that it is a different line, and we see something apparate into the TARDIS and Graham running away from something. Another shot of the Jadoon platoon, looking very menacing there. Jadoon platoon is a hard sentence to say. Jadoon platoon. Yeah, anyway, Yaz asks who someone is. We get a few quick shots that I can't really make out, but the most important one for me is the front shot of the Cybermen. Again, it's very dark. I wish they'd stop teasing us with the Cybermen design and just reveal it properly. I know that we saw his face in the trailer for Series 12, and I know we saw like it from far away in the Series 12 trailer, but I just want to see a full body of this new Cyberman, because I love the Cybermen. I think that's probably obvious due to how much I've been talking about them in this video, but yeah, I love the Cybermen. I just want to see more of this new design. Judging by the fact that we've got a blue chest piece again, this is clearly taking some cues from the Nightmare and Silver design, which I'm alright with, as long as they don't go too overboard with the sort of Iron Man aesthetic that they had. So as long as that doesn't happen, I'm happy with that. If I had to guess, as I said in one of my trailer videos, I can't remember which one it was, I'm gonna guess that what's happening here is a very similar situation to the Resolution Dalek, where the Cyberman's going to use a lot of old parts to sort of reassemble itself. That's my guess. Whether it'll be correct or not, I don't know. Just wait and see, I suppose. But that's my theory, is that this Cyberman will be reconstructed, potentially out of Sheffield steel. Who knows? But yeah, so I just want to see more of these Cybermen. I'm excited to see a new design. Now, this is interesting because apparently this guy was the same guy who voiced the toilet paper, as I call it, in the Ghost Monument, which indicates to me that perhaps this guy was just puppeting those cloth things. He was the one actually behind them, and maybe he knows who the Timeless Child is, which is interesting. Obviously, I'm glad that that got brought up again, and I'm glad that we don't have to wait until next series to see more of that, because that's something I was really fearful of. I was worried that it was going to be very much a sort of Silence Will Fall situation, where we don't find out what it is until much, much later, and this is giving me hope that at the very least we have an idea of who it is by the end of Series 12. We might not know completely, but we've got an idea. You know, we might find out the species of what it is, or, you know, something like that. As long as we don't have to wait like 3 years to find out what it is, because by then everyone sort of stopped caring. At least with the Silence Will Fall thing. You know, it was one of those things that was like, we were teased about it for so long that by the time it was eventually revealed, everyone was kind of just like, okay, fine. So, yeah, but I'm interested to see where that goes, and it's interesting that they brought the actor back as well. The TARDIS also looks to be red around him, which is the same colour it was when that weird thing apparated earlier in the trailer. So that's interesting. He also says that all humanity will fall, which I liked, because it gives some indication that potentially the threats that 13 is going to face have been orchestrated by this guy, which would be an interesting concept if it was done. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. It would be cool if there was one grand puppet master that's been following them around since the beginning of Series 11, because that would add an extra bit of depth that I feel like Series 11 needed, and I think it would retroactively make Series 11 a bit better for me personally. So that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of the BBC America, as I'm calling it, BBC America Doctor Who Series 12 Part 2 trailer. I know a lot of you don't like Series 12. I'm still not. I think it's better, but I still don't think it's great. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. It shows signs of improvement, and I've got to call out improvement when I see it, because then I wouldn't be a fat critic. So let me know what you guys thought. Comment, like, and subscribe. In the links in the description below, there will be my brand new Twitter page, which I changed from the old one, in addition to my Discord, where you can have all sorts of fun, talk about Doctor Who and being nerds and It's great. Also, my merch. Probably should plug this, but there's a little trailer at the end, as you probably are aware. But it'd be great if I could see some of you wearing the merch, and if you do wear the merch, I'll put a picture at the end of every video to show that you are supporting the channel. So yeah, thank you all for watching. That's all I've got to say. Thanks to Stu Bagful as well for shouting out the podcast. That's a huge help, and I really appreciate him doing it and coming on, and I'm hoping that we could do stuff again in the future because I really enjoyed it, and I think he did as well. So thanks very much to Stu Bagful. As I said, comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you. Have you been craving some high quality merch that doesn't have She Who Shall Not Be Named on the cover? Are you struggling to get a gift for a family member or relative after they seem to have everything after Christmas? Well, fear not, as I have the perfect solution. Introducing Thary's merch! Not only is this merch high quality and affordable, but if you purchase it you'd also be helping me, which means a lot. But I didn't stop at just shirts. Oh no. On the Thary's merch store you can get notepads, hoodies, mugs, and more. Just visit the link in the description below, and on screen now. Because hey, every penny you spend in the Thary's merch store is a penny that the BBC won't see. And I think that that's something we should all be proud of.
Oh, look down there, you got a little shop. I like a little shop.
Never mind that.